Welcome to day number 26 on your Building Strength for Life plan. Today we are working on the lower body, the glutes, the hips, and all the way down to the feet as well. So this is your 31-day plan to enhance health, build strength, and supercharge your confidence. Today we are working both on the mat and up on our feet. You can use a weight if you want to. I've got one with me so I can show you how you can incorporate that if you want to. There are, of course, adaptations and alterations as we go through this program, so please choose the level that is right for you. And if you want a little 5-minute warm-up before this session, then click the link in the top of the screen and you can get that one done. 5 minutes and you'll be warm and ready for the session. So if you're ready, let's get going. We're going to start the program today down onto the mat for a donkey kick. So this is where we're going to work from an all fours position, and we're going to be working with a bent knee, trying to get the sole of your foot flat against the ceiling. So bringing the knee in and pushing up. Quick posture check here, making sure that your wrist, elbows and shoulders are all in alignment, and that your knee and your hip also is in alignment as well. You've seen the variation, you know that there's another option if you can't get down onto the mat. But if you can, I want you to really make sure that that leg is bent and you're really trying to imprint your footprint onto the ceiling. Good job. Well done. Pushing up, in, under control, keeping your back nice and still. We're going to switch sides. If you need to come off your wrists, just give those a little bit of a mobilize, and then we're going to go back down as well. So just coming off if you need to. If you're happy to stay down there, then you can incorporate a little stretch in between going into the next exercise if you want to. Let's go. So you can do a little child's pose there if you want to. I know that lots of ladies who do these sessions love a little stretch through the shoulders and the back. I definitely do. Pushing up, back in. So under control, that is key here. Whether you are doing the version on the raised surface or whether you are doing the version down onto the mat, you're using control. Push, push, nice and slow. Well done. Good. 2, 1. Take a rest. Spin around onto your back. And we're going to get into a glute bridge position. Now we're going to work on a single leg glute bridge. If this is going to be a little bit too tricky for you, then you can stay in this position and push the hips up and back down with both feet onto the floor. But if you're going to give the single leg a try, you're going to come into your glute position, you're going to raise one leg off the floor, and you're going to push up and come back down on the single leg only. Now from here, you can have the leg lower to the ground, you can have it high up to the ground, you can have it a little bit bent, totally up to you. But you want to be making sure that you are rising and falling through that leg with the foot flat on the floor. You're not pushing up from this leg, it's going to make you tilt. So really want you to push through the supporting leg. Strong and straight up, strong and straight back down. Good job. Hopefully feeling that burn into that leg. Then we're going to switch to the other side. We're going to go back onto our front again in a minute and go back through those donkey kicks so you know what's coming up. Big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, getting ready to go. And let's go. Pushing up through that supporting leg, back down, straight up, squeeze into the glutes, back down. Now, what are you doing with your hands? Have you got your fingertips nice and loose? I hope so. Hope you're not gripping onto the mat for dear life. Good. As with yesterday, you can change what you do with your hands. You can have your fingertips up to temples if you want to make it more difficult, or your hands overhead. You're happy to have your hands just resting onto your tummy. You can, but push and squeeze. Let's not take away from the fact that this is primarily a leg glute exercise with some lovely core as well. And take your rest. Back onto the front. Back into the donkey kick. Now I'm going to give you a little variation if you want it here. I like to do this with a bent knee, and that's how I've written it into the program today. But if you want to do it with a straight leg, then you can. Ready? Let's go. So this is how I've written the program with a bent knee. But if you'd like to do something a little different, you can go with a straight leg. You might find that a little easier. You might find the control of the bent knee a little too difficult. So if you want to go with a straight leg, you can be my guest. As I've said in these workouts before, they're not overly prescriptive. You know, you can adapt and change things as you need to. Being a woman in my 40s myself, I understand what lived experience does to us. Got a whole 40 years, take a rest. And sometimes you can really feel that when you wake up in the morning, can't you? You can feel the result of that lived experience. And that's okay. That's just who you are. That's all right. So if you need to make adjustments and adaptations, then feel free to do that. Let's go on the other side. In and out. What I never want you to feel in these sessions is anything less than what you are, which is amazing. By the way, day 26, can I just remind you? So I want you to feel empowered, strong, fierce, brave, whatever word it would be to describe yourself at your best. That's how I want you to feel when you're doing these exercises. Channel that. Channel that into your strength. Have that fixation in your mind's eye on who you are and why you came. Take a rest. We're going to spin onto your backs. And sometimes that's hard to channel, isn't it? If you're not feeling great, it's hard to channel that bravery and that ferocity. Some days it comes easier than others. But if you can, feel the will of the Iron Woman that you are. Let's go. Pushing up, coming back down. Up, squeeze, down. Squeezing into your bottom, pulling up into the pelvic floor as well. Good. Push and squeeze. And everything's under control, so you're not pushing up and then flop back down. It's a real difference. Working into the one leg. The other leg is acting as a bit of a dead weight. It's not particularly helpful. So if you have it bent, that does make it slightly easier. But as I said, if you want both legs to do this as a regular glute bridge, take a rest, then please feel free. You can add a weight onto the hips if you want to do that, okay? So that is your choice, your prerogative. You have that choice. You have that license to do as you please. Ready? Let's go. Pushing up, squeeze, lowering back down under control. Squeeze, back down. Good. We're going to be up onto our feet for our next section. So just enjoy this time lying down while you're here with me. Up and down. So another 20-minute session today. I hope you're enjoying this week so far. You've made it to the 5th day of this week. So if you are here, then you know that there's good times ahead, right? Tomorrow we've got a full body session, but there's the good portion of stretching at the end of that. And then the 7th day of this week, take a rest. It's going to be another one of our resting sessions. Okay, just a short guided rest session. If you want, in this next exercise, you can add a weight in. I'm going to show you it without a weight to start with. Nice and wide, wider than shoulder width, and toes facing forwards. And you're going to push over and back, keeping the chest open, back straight, all the vibes, positivity. Good. If you want to add your weight in, it will look a lot like this. Over. Good. So the head position, looking just ahead of my mat. So I'm not looking down here. I'm not looking up here. Obviously I am when I'm looking at the camera, but you shouldn't. That's by the by. Down, 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 and down. Take a rest. Very well done. We're going to stay in that similar wide position, but this time we're going to turn out the toes. So as you were here, but just turn out the toes. And we're going to drop down for a little pulse, and then we're going to come up. So drop down for a pulse, 2, 1, up. You don't have to use a weight. Up. Now you may be here. Up. Or you may be all the way down here. And up. I'm working for around about 5 pulses. But if you've done my sessions before, you know me and counting aren't always the best of friends. So sometimes it might be 6, sometimes it might be 4. Who knows? But I'm aiming for around 5. Good. Really pushing the bottom back. And take a rest. Well done. We're going to go back to that sort of lateral lunge, lean over. Toes facing forward with the weight if you want it, without if you don't. Working on posture as well here, keeping that back straight. Ready? Over. Bent knee. Sailing over. And pushing over. My bottom is going back each time. I'm going to try and show you from the side. So over, over. And I say try because I am slightly constrained with my space here, with my setup that I've got. This is just in my house. I just record in my house, as lots of you will know. Nothing fancy going on here. The same as you, just working out at home. 2, 1, take a rest. So remember where those feet were. We're going to go into the same position, toes pointing out. Okay. So again, squatting, pulsing for around 5. If the pulse is too much, do 2, do 1. Just go up and down. Totally up to you. Really don't mind. If you're listening to your body, that is going to be your best guide. Okay, obviously I want you to challenge yourself. That's really important. We're not going to build anything if we're not giving ourselves a bit of a challenge. You can't stay in your comfort zone all the time. As much as I would love to say that that's going to work, it's just simply not going to. So a little bit of a challenge just to push yourself above. Just push a little bit more. And you don't have to challenge yourself each and every time, okay? Sometimes it's fine to sit where you are. But you do need to have an element of challenge. Take a rest. Well done. We're going to go back down to the mat. There are, of course, variations if you don't feel that the mat is the right place for you. But if you do, come down with me now. Again, in all fours position. I'm going to bring my leg out behind, and then I'm going to bring it over and arc it over. Over and over. And over. So again, just checking. Wrist, elbow, shoulder. Nice alignment there. Nice and square through the hips. Bringing that leg behind. Working on the inner and the outer thigh here. And you can touch and rest. Touch and rest. Or you can sail all the way through without touching down to the ground if you want to make it a little harder. Good. Push out the heel. Take a rest. Well done. We're going to go over to the other side. Good job. You're about 10 seconds. If you want to come off those wrists, you come off those wrists. Get that focus. Hold in tight to that tummy. You're not letting your tummy sag. Let's go. So holding in tight. Drawing your belly button up through your spine. Imagine someone has hooked the belly button and is pulling it out through your back. That's the feeling. You are not sucking in. You're not coming round. You're not rounding the back. Okay, so pull up through. Nice and strong and straight. I was explaining posture and core control and that kind of stuff to a client the other day, and I said, just imagine a Disney princess. So imagine being strong, straight, tall and confident. Okay, that's how you holding yourself. And take a rest. Well done. Onto your back. We're going to do our scissor kicks. Now, these are nobody's favorite. Just going to warn you now. They're not mine and they won't be yours. But refer back to previous conversation about challenging. So if you want to do the full version, your legs are nice and low and you're under, over, under, over. If you want to make it a little easier, raise the legs up, bend the knees just a little bit or go somewhere in between, but you're pushing your back into the floor and you are going under and over. We're not gripping the mat, okay? So if you're finding you're gripping the mat, try and bring it back a little bit. Under, over, breathing through. So this is the regressed version here with the knees bent. And then working through the range of movement. As soon as you bring those legs away from the body, it gets harder. Take a rest, but you can probably feel that. So you find the point in which you feel happy. It's a bit like the biting point when you're driving. You get to that bite. Okay, that's where I'm going to stay. You might want to bring it back a little bit. You might want to push it forward a little bit. But around about that bite where you're not raising up off the floor. Next exercise, nice and strong and straight. One leg comes up and the other leg comes up. Up and down, up and down. If you want to bend the knees, bend, 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 somewhere in between. Or the hardest option here, the really hard option is where you don't drop the heel down to the floor. Slightly better, little drop, drop under control. And then the closer you bring those heels to the body, the easier it's going to be. So again, work on finding that biting point and take a rest. Well done. All the way back over onto your front. Going to do those arcs with the legs. Now, if you enjoyed this 20-minute session and you quite like the longer 20-30 minute sessions, I do have some of that length on the channel. Some of those have been recorded live with some of the members, but I have an entire back catalogue, entire archive on my website, which are just exclusively for members of the website. Those are not available anywhere else. You won't find them anywhere else. I don't release them anywhere apart from on the website. And you can find those on there if you become a member, if that's something you feel is right for you. But if not, I'm happy for you to stick with me on here and find any of my workouts on YouTube. 2, 1. We're going to end up switching sides. But I like to give you the option. I'm a giver. I give you all the options. Nearly ready. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And just one more thing on the membership, you get a live session. So you actually get 2 live sessions a week at the moment. As I'm recording this, that's what I offer, 2 live sessions a week. And if you can't make those, they go on to catch up and then into the archive. So there's a full extensive library of over 50 sessions, all created for members around the needs of the members. So I kind of know what you need and then I can help you in a group basis. 2, 1, take a rest and onto your back. But that's just one of the things that I do. I've obviously got all of these workouts here, lots of different types. You can do my short ones. I've got 10 minutes. I've got 4-minute winter warmers. Always good for a little bit of a movement break. Let's get into those scissors. So you can start out here and find your biting point. If you don't feel quite right, I don't feel quite right. So I'm just going to reset. There we go, that's better. Sometimes that happens. And you've laid onto your mat and you think everything's fine and then you just don't feel quite right. It's okay to have a quick stop and a reset. Okay, that happens to everybody. You haven't done anything wrong. It's just maybe sometimes you're not quite there. Breathing through. Pull up through that pelvic floor. Pulling up. Pushing down. Well done. I'm just showing you all the options. I'm just going through all the different degrees here. And of course, if you want to do this, take a rest. If you want to go through and graduate it like that, then you absolutely can do. It's quite a good way to find out where you are and what you find more challenging. Sit into that challenge for a second and then come back out of it. It's quite a nice way to do it. Last exercise then, can you believe it already? We're going to go for that alternate leg raise. Tap, tap. If you find that you're thudding, you're getting to here and it's thudding down, then maybe you want to just bend those knees a little bit, or maybe a lot. You can just do more of a toe tap, 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 tap. Okay, different versions. They're all here for you. Choose the one that you want to do. Don't forget to leave me a comment at the end of the session. Let me know how you're getting on. I can reply. I'll give you a whoop whoop and a well done, and take a rest. Whew. I don't know about you, but that worked my tummy muscles as well as my leg muscles, especially those last two exercises. Tomorrow, we've got a full body strengthen and stretch. So it's a 20-minute session. The first 12 to 14 minutes, let's say, is going to be our strengthen element. And then the last 6 to 8 minutes is going to be our stretch. So we're going to be looking at that full body. And then on Sunday, if you're doing it on a Monday to Friday basis, day 28 is going to be your rest day. So tune in tomorrow for day 27 to see what we've got in store. Thank you so much for doing this session. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Take care of business, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.